Broadcasting on 92.3 FM and Channel 20 Coral Cable, this is Reef TV Radio in San Pedro. Music Radio.
And a pleasant good morning to everybody. It is Wednesday. It's a holiday, and we're having some gremlins today, but we got it going. There we go. A little issue with the switcher there. Good morning, everybody. It's a couple minutes after 9 o'clock. It's a holiday today, and it's the Andre Perez Show. Last time Andre was here, we had the leader of the PUP party, Mr. Honorable Johnny Briseño, and Andre's here to give us an update on what's going on with the PUP.
And to all our viewers watching us via TV, via social media, welcome this morning. It is 10th of September. It is a holiday, and it is the month of the September celebration, the month of our independence. So with that said, I want to go to what we're discussing. But indeed, a holiday. We have to carry on. We have to carry on our show that is every Thursday. And the truth of the matter is I cannot say that today is a day for resting, because we are the months of the pandemic. We have been sitting down and trying to do and keeping ourselves busy. But nonetheless, here we are to discuss the show for 1 hour. And today, Dan, I think I want to share that we apologize for last week for missing the show. We know that the threat of the storm that was coming in, and we would have to focus and shift our focus on safety of everyone. The show was unable to happen. But indeed, as Dan said, a couple of weeks, 2 weeks ago, the party leader came on live here to address us because he's unable at this point in time to do that national tour that was cut short. I think last time was in San Ignacio, Cayo District, because of the pandemic and the lockdown as well. But nonetheless, he was able to reach to us and to speak to us directly and giving us the assurance and the support that we are not being ignored, that Belize Rural South is certainly constituency that is a force to contend with. He understands and knows exactly that the third largest constituency is Belize Rural South. So with that, my friends, we must admit that we pack power by the sheer amount of voters. And certainly we do not forget as well that Belize Rural South is a big contributor to the economy, always, except for this year 2020 that has been dismal. And we continue to clamor for the rightful assistance that we are entitled to, not as a favor or someone to come and tell you, I'm helping you, and telling you, patting you, giving a bag of groceries and telling I'm helping you. Never think like that. We need to know is that we deserved it, that we have always worked hard for this. We have paid our taxes, we have paid our dues in all the ways possible. So I'm going to discuss that later about the taxes that we have been paying for so many years and the service that we have never gotten. But indeed, Dan, I think we have to focus today that I continue doing my campaign. Our team is pretty much organized, and I want to tell our brothers and sisters in Kikaka that tomorrow I will be there to continue our campaign. I was unable to go for the month of August because of the lockdown again. Then we had to be that. So it has been a drawback, a kickback, and it's really tough.
This lockdown has been really tough on everybody.
It is tough.
And it's been inconvenient for everybody, but what can you do, right? We have to
that's
just work
true.
around it.
That is true. Exactly. We need
Yeah,
to work around
it.
And I have been in contact with the team, the working committee in Kikaker as well, and we have been extending as much as possible our limited resources that we have, that we continue to provide service to our people by way of pantry. It's never enough, Dan. It is just never enough. And that is why whatever we can do, and we give it out. And I want to reach out, speaking about helping out people who contribute, I want to acknowledge a company from Marine Drive. It's called Tenderbuff. It's a meat company. They provide smoked sausages and beef patties, burger patties, everything. And the manager is a great friend of mine. We have been high school friends ever since. Kept in contact. Once he was a resident of San Pedro as well, but now he's living mainland. And he understands our plight. So he was a major contributor, has been and continues to be. He did send some to Kikaker a couple of months ago. He's sending to us now. And it's, as I said, Dan, it's never enough. It's just never enough.
And I know there were some pictures of you were handing it out yesterday,
yes,
right?
And I did get a fresh
school.
boxes yesterday. So I said, what can we do? How do we do it? So I said, let's get rid of it one time. So I came out of my office without trying to create a frenzy of a long line. You have to be careful. We're still in the pandemic. And so that's what I did. I gave it out yesterday to everyone, and and that is courtesy of Tenderbuff from Marine Drive. I want to tip my hats off to them, to give them the kudos. And it's good stuff, Dan.
Yes.
It is buffalo meat. If you, for all that who haven't tried it, or have you tried it? How was it? It is actually buffalo meat. It is healthier according to what the sources tell us, and health officials tell you, that is much a lean meat that you can have, and it's much healthier than beef. But I liked it. It's really good. So I want to really acknowledge that. Also, the campaign continues, Dan. I know virtually we have been making calls to people, reaching out to those people, and assuring them that we are still very much alive and active. And incidentally, last night our party made a second release, and that is the agriculture program in the plan for the future of the next 5 years, when the People's United Party forms the government. And that was very extensive, but we leave that for another time, because it needs more than one show to be discussed, right? But then here we are. We are down to, I would say, 6 or 7 weeks. We're still on the date of November 4th, and we want to alert our people that I think in Belmopan, it has been announced that September 16th there will be a special sitting of the House. As usual, this Prime Minister keeps us on the suspense. It seems that he enjoys sitting down and watching us with a little fingers and nails, keeping, are you going to announce it, yes or no? He seems to get off from that. He seems to really get off from that, to keep us in suspense. And that is one of the things that we want to change whenever we get elected, is that we cannot be playing around with our election dates. Get real, set your dates, Dan. We do not need to be playing around and says, should I call it or should I not? Or depending on what is happening in my political party, I will pronounce and call a date or snap elections. These things, we need to respect our people. And I think that we hold this Prime Minister, I personally will tell this Prime Minister that he is irresponsible, careless, and actually to the point of being that proverbial name, that famous Greek person that is the Roman emperor that was just about getting off. Yeah, Nero. Something like that you see him. That he does not, he enjoys watching us, keeping us in suspense. So we're hoping that by this time, we're only hearing chatter that perhaps there's a possibility that the Parliament will be dissolved. If that happens, it means that all ministries cease to exist. There are no longer any more ministers, but rather the CEOs of each ministry take over control for the next 30 or 45 days, whenever the dates for elections are called. So we must be watchful of that for next week. Let's be keeping on the news. And we must continue the campaign. And that we must be on the vanguard, and that elections are nearby. Another thing I want to share with you all is that for the last 3 days, remember the elections office was closed for the month of August.
Yes.
And we were unable to continue doing transfers and new registrations. So the lines for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday has been very, very long. And finally, we're getting people at the last minute, at the 11th hour, to go and register. Now, we have been informed now, because of the holiday today, which should have been the last day for the cutoff, they're extending it 1 day. So I want to share out there to people who have not registered as yet, that tomorrow you have that opportunity, that tomorrow is the last day for you to register. However, we make clear that registration still continues, that if you go Monday and register, they will still accept you. but there's no guarantee that you'll be able to vote for the next elections.
Yeah.
So, and that is why we're highlighting, and very important, that you register Friday. And I will repeat that if you do have your passport, that is all that you need to go on Friday. And also, if you don't have a passport, is you need a birth certificate and a social security, and that is enough. Now, also, the other point is that you may have lost your social security, but if you do have your birth certificate, we will be able to assist you for you to take some pictures and take you to a justice of the peace, who will be able to identify you as the rightful person of that birth certificate to certify that you are the true person. You can also register that. A little bit longer process, but it can be done. So I'm appealing to all those out there who have not registered. There is still one more day for you to apply. I mean to register, and that is tomorrow, Friday, in the offices. And there's a long line. Be patient. But if you are a true Belizean, you're a patriotic person, that you love your country, and that you want to make your vote count, tomorrow is your day.
And what people have to realize is we're in a very small country. It's not like the United States, so the individual vote is even more powerful and counts even more because it's not a huge group of people voting. I mean, elections here are won and lost, as you know, with less than 40 votes.
Exactly.
And so each individual vote, if you don't go out and vote, that's one less vote, but it's a very powerful vote. It's not like the States where it's very diluted.
Right. Well, I don't want to delve into comparing a parliamentary type of government as compared to a republic that has different kind of politics in electing with.
I was talking about maybe big countries.
But
big
you
countries.
do see the pros and cons on where your vote actually has real value when it is in a parliamentary type of system that we have here in Belize and the Caribbean of that.
Okay,
so
I'll switch it to
a big
Canada then.
Right? And Canada as well. Please,
Canada as well.
My apologies, of course.
That's
Canada is part of it, right?
I should have said Canada, being a Canadian.
Of course, of course. I apologize. But this is what we want to go. So for now, Dan, we need to shift. We need to refocus. We need to, someone says, change your latitude. That we, as always, organize the People's United Party, Belize Royal South, we always trying to change our latitude. Andre is unable to go there on the streets, although I'm doing my very best. We must keep in line that we keep our distance, social distance, the mask. So we have to be safe. You cannot be reckless at this point in time. I would love to say, you know what? Do this. Yeah. Let's
So
set
would
this
I.
up. I'm going to go on the
Everybody
streets.
would, yeah.
Because, you know, that's where you get the energy.
Yeah.
This is where you get the energy when you're going out to the street, you're speaking to your people. You know, you come back after a long day, you're sweaty, and you go home, but you have a good night rest because you have gotten that response from the people. You draw energy from there. But it's very difficult to do it right now. And I do not want to go on a limb of that and exposing our people, myself. It's important. I do have a family. People have families. So COVID-19 is very much alive. And although the figures are showing that it seems to be contained here, we must not let down our guard, Dan. We cannot let down our guards, people. My friends, is that we must not forget that COVID-19 is very much alive. I cannot continue to stress it at all times to tell you all to really be that COVID is still in our midst, and that the island is now open, that there is no water taxis are running from Corozal, from Belize City. Remember, the COVID is very much strong, especially in the Orange Rock district, in the area of the village of San Felipe, where much of the food and produce and poultry comes from. So we have to be very, very much aware of that. So back to what I was saying, Dan, is about changing and refocusing and re-engaging with our people. We had already made our plans for launching of our manifesto, and this manifesto had been in place as of December last year. So this is just to show you how much we have been doing this work. We never leave things for the last minute. So we had done a comprehensive plan of coming up with a manifesto. And sadly, with this COVID-19, we had to go back to the drawing board, and then we have to come back and say, we need to refocus.
Readjust, yeah.
Yes, we have to readjust. So I want to share something with you all that is important, and it will be going up on our page today. Please be on the lookout for it. And Dan, if you with your permission, please, if you can assist me by putting up that. What we have done, and we want to present to you officially here, that we are now embarking on an ambitious campaign, and we're calling it the 100 Days in Office When Elected. And that is going to be an insert whereby we'll be putting it, because the plans for our manifesto, Dan, it does not change. In that plan, of course, yes, we need to build a hospital. Even the party leader has said it, that before the next 5 years, we need to build a hospital. So we cannot forget of those long-term things that need to be done. However, because of COVID, we are now focusing on what is actually the plans, the 100-day plan. So I want to start off with that, my friends, and please bear with me with the question that you might want to give us a call later. I think that some Reef TV line.
Yeah, we'll hold the questions off till later.
Yeah, we'll hold the questions, but there's a line that you can call, right?
Yeah, we've got a different phone number because we've been having an issue
yes.
With our phones for the past couple of days. BTL, please come out and fix our phones.
Yes.
I've called you 3 times.
So just to make it clear, it's not Andre that is playing.
No.
Like
we've got a different phone number. You can call in our fax number.
Right.
I'll put that number up.
It's not like Bugs Bunny says sabotage. Right?
Yeah. No, it's not sabotage. No, actually, you know what? It's really weird. I can pick up the phone and I can hear other people talking,
yes.
so they can't hear me.
Right.
So the lines are crossed somewhere.
So
Something's
we're going to do a number.
on.
Are we going to answer a question?
I'm going to give you our fax number. You can call on the fax number instead. It's 226-4100. I'll put that number up on the screen. We're going to hold off the questions until after Andre's finished presenting the points, and then we'll open the phone lines and you can call in. Of course, you can always comment on Facebook as well along the way. So Andre,
yes,
take her away.
Thank you very
It's
much.
all yours.
Yeah. And as we say now that for the next 6-7 weeks, this is going to be the highlight of our campaign. Although we will be going around with our manifesto, we'll be posting our manifesto as well as a vision for the next 5 years. But in light of the COVID, the pandemic that we are going through, we have to readjust and we focus. So we have come up with a plan that applies for Keycarker and San Pedro, and it's called the 100 Days in Office Plan of Action. So if you please highlight that for me, and I want to start with the first one. It's obvious that the food pantry program for San Pedro and Keycarker is something very important. So that we need to simplify the application as well and approval process. That because many of our people are still not getting what they should be getting right now. So we need to simplify that, and that we know that the government has agreed that it is important that a pantry program continues for the next all the way up to elections.
And a non-colored one, so it's not
of course.
It's not red or it's not a blue food pantry.
But we are hearing many stories right now that they have UDP operatives going out there campaigning on the streets, and we heard about that in DFC, that certain people out there campaigning, giving out the same pantry programs and trying to seek information from the people and letting them know that the pantry is coming directly from the minister. My friends, I want to make it clear, this pantry program is coming from the Ministry of Human Development. The monies have been approved and allocated, and we want to clamor that every single dollar does not go to the minister, the air representative, but goes to the Ministry of Human Development, and it goes directly to our people. So we are saying that we go further. At this point is that the pantry program must continue. It cannot stay as soon as election is over and we form the government, the pantry dies. No, we must continue. Whatever funds are coming in there, the urgency of it right now is to keep our people feed them.
Food is a basic necessity of life, and we need to do that.
That is why it's number one there. Yep. Okay. If I move on to the second one, there is that we need to implement a government initiative to assist business with immediate cash flow to jumpstart this business and the local economy. It sounds like all beautiful and dandy, but let me elaborate on it. Yesterday, I had a very fruitful meeting with the Tour Operators Association. Key members came by and we had a very fruitful meeting and we discussed many issues. See, that's a thing also whenever you are a politician and you're running, is that you need to be a keen listener. Now, I do not purport to know that I know everything what is happening in this island as it relates to tourism. I will tell you, I'll be honest with you, of course, we'll never know everything on there. But it is important that we listen to those who are on the ground, who are embedded in the business itself, that they feel every day, and they're feeling every day, and the tourism is virtually zero, right? And at this point in time, is talking to these people. And yesterday there was a very fruitful meeting where we discussed many issues. And in that meeting, it came up that we cannot continue. Those in tourism to continue doing our work. We have our boats, we have our dive shops, we have our equipment, and we cannot do nothing. The only way to move forward is a cash injection. It is important that we will be pursuing that completely. And not only with government-related lending institutions, right? I don't want to be mentioning names because there's more than one. But obviously, by the way of government, by flexing the muscles, working along with central bank, to reach out also to the commercial banks by providing very nice rates and even considering 2-3 months off in payments, deferring your payments. Now, it does not mean that you do not pay your loans, all right? Your loan payments, they're still due. But if we become flexible with these things, the bottom line is to get rid of that red tape. You know, when you apply to a certain lending institution that is quasi-government, so much red tape. I know a friend of mine in Keycarker who applied for a loan, and the things that this person had to go through, the paperwork and everything, just to get a loan of $20,000. We got to stop that. And that has to be government intervention done. That we have to make sure that cash goes directly one time. We need the money now. And I know that our people will be getting that money, not to run to a bar and drink it out, or to go and pay. We need to invest it. And I know that these people are going to take that money and know that it's do or die. I got to make this dollar in my hand count.
Well, a lot of business owners are going to be coming back to back rent, to back electricity payments,
of course,
to back water payments, and they're going to need money to pay that. And they're also going to need money to reopen their business,
yes,
which is not an easy thing to do, especially when you have all these back payments you've got to take care of.
Exactly.
So something like this is something that every little small business, every restaurant, little dive shop, tour shop, all those businesses could actually, that'd be a big jump, big help.
And that point there, Dan, is I cannot stress and highlight it, because it is crucial that money comes in directly affects our economy. It needs for the cash flow and cash circulation that is going to be handing it on. That person will be able to pay employees. These employees can go back, pay their rent. They can go and buy it at a grocery store, so that eventually we start to lift up our head. And one of the other things that the members of the tour operators shared with me, they were very realistic. They were very, I was a good listener yesterday, because they had very valid points. And they were admitting, it says, Andre, 2020 is gone. Even if the airport is open in October, which we're very happy about it, we don't expect to see much coming perhaps in December or January. So that gives you a bearing of where, as a politician, as an elected official, what you expect to see whenever we get elected in government. So yesterday I got a true picture of what really is happening. And I know now, with the plans that we have done, that this point that we have said, that it is real and we must pursue it. And that is not only what Andre is saying, or myself, I'm saying, I am out there saying we need to get that money out. It is something that we as a party have discussed, that cash injection is important in tourism and agriculture as well. So that's important here. So if we can move on to the third one there as well, Dan. The third one reads like this.
Let me put that one up.
And of course, at the cabinet level, we need to negotiate. That kind of follows up with the second one as well, actually. I went ahead. Negotiate that the Central Bank of Belize encourages commercial banks to consider deferring loan payments until the end of the fiscal year, particularly for tourist-related business and for customers whose income is directly related. So 2 and 3 really go together. I kind of went ahead of myself, but it goes back again about deferral of payments. I've spoken to people, when they talk about deferral of payments, it means that I don't have to pay. Yes, you don't have to pay, but the loan still stands. Your interest still stands, right? So that is something that we need to make it clear, but at least it gives you a leverage of a couple of months ahead. So knowing that 2020 is given a loss year already, we have given up whatever we can do in the last quarter of the year, which is October, November, December. Certainly cannot be any kind of money that you want to go and make any kind of loan payments, but rather it's for immediate bills that you need to pay your employees. So that is something that the banks need to consider, and it has to come by way of responsible government who will be clamoring for that. Sitting down with all the officials in the banking industry, the central bank, all the lending institutions, not limited to also, but credit unions as well, Dan. So at this point in time, it has to be from a business standpoint. That is important, Dan. And I don't want to speak as I know everything, but I'm hoping that it is going to be my strength as a businessman to bring it on board, to sit down and say, I'm a businessman. I am feeling, and I know my people are feeling. So with that said, restructuring your loans, that is something that I consider my strength, Dan. And I know that we put our heads together, we can come up with a definitive solution with 2 and 3 right here. So I'm hoping that you are listening and following with me, my brothers and sisters, and that we lead on to election. This is part of the campaign, but this is real. This is real, that what I am already focusing myself to whenever elected on November 4th, I am ready to start working for everyone. Dan.
Yeah, one of our very vocal residents has been asking for a plan. Well, here it is.
Well, there you go. There you go, right? Yeah. But this is something that I think very much the populace, the voting pool is asking, what are we going to do immediately? I don't want to have any long-term solution. I'm starving. I don't have jobs. I can't eat. I can't feed my family. I cannot send my kids to school. So they want immediate answers, and this is what we're doing with our plans right here. And that we need to address it, but we do not lose our focus in the future. We have to keep it parallel. What we have there is the short-term solution, but we must continue looking at the long-term solutions, that whenever something like this ever occurs, God forbid, we are be much better prepared to deal with any kind of contingency plan that we have. We have it here, right?
All right.
So we carry on.
Carry on. Point number 4, right?
Number 4 is to immediately open fully functional BTB office in San Pedro with emphasis of weekly services in Kikaker to facilitate hotels, tour operators, and freelance tour guides with the requirements, licensing procedures, and marketing strategies. See, that's one of the things also that we need to call out the BTB on. BTB offices was the first to close. When the bulk of tourism is occurring in San Pedro and Kikaker, and then you have this major office in Belize City. Yes, it's needed, but one of the most important things is that we need to activate a more, not only an office that the minister will be sitting down or just some 2-3 secretaries. We need to have an active team working out here, working with the tour guides, working with the tour operators, working with every single person. So we need to populate the BTB office as soon as possible to get it running, to work directly with Ambergris Ski and Kikaker. And it needs to be that something needs to be open temporarily once a week, twice a week in Kikaker. We need to do it as well. So we need to make a presence. We need to make a presence by the way of BTB for the people that are working directly are able to access for further information. What do I need to do? For fees or anything, not only for paying or fees, but assistance in guidance and the rules and regulations. Sometimes there is always mix-ups in there. This is where we have a BTB office. So we consider it as important to keep that office open at all costs right now. Then.
Yeah, we should have one here because Belize City is not a mega tourist hub destination. It's a transfer point and it's a business destination. Most people go to Belize City are there on business. No real tourists there except for day trippers and that sort of thing. So we don't need a BTB office. Maybe one for the cruise ships, but other than that, we're the #1 tourist destination in the country, and we should have an office here.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So I agree with that. These are points that we want to bring out, is that we need to make the presence. We need to make the presence of BTB here to say we are here to help you. We are here to work with you. So that is a major commitment.
Yeah, just even so that tourists can go there and lodge their concerns.
Absolutely. Right? Of course, if there's a concern or something we have somewhere
we have an office, you can go.
That is correct. So this other one here that we're going to go is very, very much important. And we want to highlight that number 5 is also a promise that I make to Belize Rural South, is that in the next 100 days, we will identify and secure the properties for the construction of health facilities in both Kikaker and San Pedro. So before we even talk about going with a shovel and digging our ground and says, this is where we're going to open, we are going to firmly identify these properties and declare it the property assigned or set to build health facilities for our island. That is what we're going to do, Dan. And when we have that identified, we can run to Bumapan and says, we have the property. We need a hospital now.
Yeah.
And we're going to be fighting tooth and nail out there to get that going. So the next 100 days, we will identify the property, something tangible that you are able to see. Aquí es el terreno donde se va a hacer el hospital. Lo mismo en Kikaker. Aquí es el terreno donde se va a hacer un health facility para Kikaker. Cosa que prometió nuestro party leader, que entiende que tenemos que hacer un hospital. Bueno, lo que yo estoy diciendo es, antes de que empecemos a hablar de un hospital, yo me comprometo a buscar ese terreno en menos de 100 días cuando sea elegido para identificarlo y confirmar, aquí está nuestro terreno para hacer nuestro hospital. So that is very, very important.
That's very important. And the other thing, too, is location. We don't need it 12 miles north.
We will find one.
Yeah.
We will find. And if it means that it belongs to a person that we know, because the lands that are being given out right now are under questionable ways how they have gotten it. And I don't want to sound dictatorial, but if the laws state there that these things have been done illegally, we will have to take away. We have to. I don't want to use that word. It's a strong word. When you usurp something, it sounds very dictatorial. But if we have to take away land from people and compensate them for other because of proximity, we cannot be building a hospital 10 miles away. It has to be somewhere near town, close up north, close down south. But if it's something that is qualified or something, we can negotiate with that owner, and by way of government and our resources that we may have, we will be able to compensate that person. But it is actually in the name of our community that is important that we get a hospital that is strategically located for emergencies, coming in from an accident from a boat that forbade, but these things we must prepare. So it's not only building a building, a structure and the land, but it has to be strategically set in town. So if
Now,
you could,
now, I remember back in 2012, there was an article in the San Pedro Sun with Mayor Danny Guerrero who said he'd already allocated a piece of property down by the Bowen and Bowen outlet that was designated for the hospital, and it was donated, and then then it just disappeared into vapor.
Yep.
Do we have a follow-up on that? Do we know what's going on with that property? Who controls that? Where is it? What's the status? Does anybody know anything about that?
Thanks for reminding me, Dan. I remember that was just a couple of months before the elections in
Yes, it
2018,
was.
I recall. And actually, let me go further. And they were saying that we're going to start paving the road. And they'd made some people, and I don't want to call out the name of the company involved, but they were there because I saw the engineer whom I knew was starting to set pegs on the streets in San Pedrito. And I said, hey, what's going on, my friend? He said, oh, for the road and for the hospitals and everything. It was all a sham. It was all a sham, and they put the pegs with some little red labels there saying, this is where something
This is where it's going to be?
It was so funny. It's hilarious. So
So that's probably dead in the water
it's
then, right?
dead on arrival already.
Yeah.
Right. But if it's still there and it's feasible,
And the person's
take
still
it.
willing to
Of course,
donate it,
it's
let's
still
do
there.
it, yeah.
Nothing is removed off the table of negotiation. And as a businessman, you know that you never leave everything out and says everything is on the table to negotiate, and we do it the right way, so that whenever we move for that hospital, that land has been secured with any kind of controversy in it. So again, that's important. Identifying a land for a hospital. So we need to start to give, or people need to have hope that we are moving on 100 days, we can perform and do it. And 100 days is also leading us to town council elections, which is very, very important as well. So by the time you're seeing, and myself working with the rest of the team, it is just basically a slide into setting a new POP7 to take over the town council, to straighten out things there as well. So that is important, continuity as well, transition, that when I get elected, I know I have to get my work going to start working for Amber Giski and Key Cocker and setting up, because by December, Dan, we have to be real. By December, we have to come up with a solid team to replace that incompetent UDP7 that is in town council right now. So it's only working together to set things out. So elections, November 4th, very important. So if we carry on there, Dan.
All right.
And also, that is something that needs to be taken very seriously, and we can do it. It is attainable. Is number 6. Is to take the health and wellness mobile clinics to the different neighborhood communities. It is especially important to monitor the health of those community members with decreased mobility and other vulnerable groups that may experience difficulty coming into the hospital or polyclinic. Implement community health workers in each area, as well as provide basic medication distribution. That is also very important, and it is attainable, Dan.
So this is going to be like a mobile clinic.
I've seen health officials going around, for example, with kids that need their vaccinations and everything, because I do not want to accuse a mother or a father or parents or say you're irresponsible. You do not go to the clinic for your kids to be getting their booster shots or their vaccination. But this is also, you can relate that to poverty, where people really are so embedded in poverty that they do not even start to focus when it's time to go to take your child to the clinic. I've seen it where the nurses and they go to different places to get that. So we need to assist the health officials on that. We need to provide them with golf carts. We need to provide them with the proper, whatever they need to take their vaccines. They are aware of who are the elderly people who may need some assistance. And if we can provide more human resources, if we can provide more golf carts that is easily to get, we can donate 2, 3, 4 golf carts where they're able to go to our people. Health is important. Health is important, whereby, and this is attainable, Dan. This is something that we need to go. And the other thing is this also. We're talking about the basic medicines that are not there in the hospital that should be there. For example, diabetic pills. All of these things, pressure pills that people do need. It is a necessity. We have to make sure that these things are available at this point in time. How many people come to see me just for something basic, for pills, medication that should be provided by the NHI, the National Health Insurance, that is not here in Belize. And this is something in San Pedro. And this is something that we have to push as well. And then we got to push for this NHI to come in. But all in all, it is a short term that can be achieved within 100 days. So you might ask me, where's the money? But these resources, not much that is needed, Dan. And when we start working as a responsible government, and that we are showing that we're leading the way by actions, enter the private sector who says, I'll give you a golf cart, Mr. Andre. I'll give you a golf cart, or someone says, I'm going to give you what else is needed. And we can call our friends abroad who can send us all these medical things that is available. We start to, it's not about only about begging, but letting them know that we are leading the way by working hard. So this is also very much attainable, Dan, right? And that is number 6.
Yeah, because when you're moving forward, people are more willing to help.
Absolutely.
And when nothing's happening, people don't want to help.
That's it. So we have to lead by example. We have to making sure that we work, and then when we start working is when everybody else starts to step in. You know what? They are getting on the go. We have to jump the bandwagon and keep on working for the betterment of this island. For both islands, not Kikaker and San Pedro as well, right? So if we move on, we are at number
7 now.
Number 7, yes. And that is also something very important. It's on its way, but I don't know what is the kickback. We keep on hearing the Prime Minister talking about it. Increase testing for COVID-19 in both Kikaker and San Pedro, and provide needed support to residents who have tested positive, such as automatic food pantry and medication assistance. This has got to continue. And this is urgent. This is priority. We are broke, but if we got $10, we have to find $2, $3 to get those test kits. We have to get it. That is not a no, or we have to save only 10 for today. We have to have ample amount. And that is why, with all due respect to the people involved in the health department, Dr. Kanul, health inspector, everybody, I have to commend the wonderful job that they're doing with the very limited resources they have. But right now, the figures are showing that pretty much COVID-19 is not showing the numbers that is going up. While it may sound like good news, and we're hoping that this is actually the real truth, we do not know if that is the actions that are occurring right now that is testing more people. So let's not let down our guard. But for sure, COVID-19 is here to stay for a long while. Prior to getting some kind of vaccines that are coming out, we're still not hearing anything definitive as yet. But the COVID test kit must come. We have to give it priority, and I commit myself to making sure that we spend time in getting it, because health matters. Our people are getting sick, people are dying, so we have to give that priority as well in the first 100 days done. Right? And we go to number 8, high school and tertiary. I'm talking about secondary and tertiary. Subsidize the tuition for secondary and tertiary level. This is actually a question that we discussed, and says, Mr. Andrew, where are you going to get the money? Well, as how we said, we are able to raise, I believe, over $20,000 to assist the students of the primary schools in Kikaker and San Pedro. We did that by the way of reaching out to our friends or private sector to give out that money. What we did with that money is that we did not give it to the parent directly, but we knew that the schools could use it. And when I spoke to the principals, we made the fees available that will be assigned for at least over 225 students. I'm using this as an example because what the money was used was to pay for the fees of the students, but it went directly to the school. And the principals told me how appreciative that was, because they got the actual cash that were able to inject to buy things for the school, stationaries, reparations of school, something that they were not getting. So this is the same concept that we want to do for secondary and tertiary, to help the students by paying a certain allocated amount of money directly going to the high school, directly going to the sixth form or the junior college, where the school is able to use it for the daily running of the school. So we need to secure those funds, but it's assigned to students, because every single student has big fees to pay, especially in junior college. As usual, when you go to tertiary level, then the fees are higher. And we understand that. And it would be a sad thing to know that the junior college would be unable to open because they cannot pay their teachers, because they don't have enough students. That is something that would be very catastrophic. So I remain committed. That is something that we need to give attention, urgent attention, because education also, apart from health, education is paramount for our island, for our entire country. And I want to remain focused on that by giving health and education as something very high up there in priorities right there, Dan. So this is something I want to highlight there, that we will commit to that, to seek out those funds right there. Right? So we go on to number 9, of course. Remember that many of our students will have to do online studies, and that is something that is still not readily available in many places. So we need to expand the Wi-Fi access and designated public spaces and work, and also increasing broadband speed for schools in both San Pedro and Kikaker. I am mentioning all of this, Dan, because we already are getting reports of teachers unable to continue their online classes with the students because the broadband is kind of weak. We heard about it already. that many parents are complaining about it. And it's not the teacher's fault, it's not the student or the family, but it means that we have to boost up the broadband, and that can easily be done. That is something very much attainable. So we need to work on that as well, and that is something that will be working at the national level as well in the first 100 days, because online studies is coming as well. All right, it's getting more, it's manifesting because of COVID-19, so it's important that our kids are following the education program as well via online. So we need to highlight that as well. And number 10, and this is one of my favorites that can be
I'm
done.
liking this one too.
Yes, number 10. Okay, and let me read it out. Establish a local market at Sacachispa Stadium grounds. Vendors, local artisans, and food vendors will have a new opportunity for increased sales. Now, this is one of my personal favorites here, Dan. You want to call it my pet project? Let's call it that. I believe, and it can be done in the first 100 days, if we attain a place where we can set up a place and call it Saturday Market Day. Let's call it Saturday a Market Day. It can be the Sacachispas. It can be along the boardwalk. There's a beautiful boardwalk there, you know, where there all these little places come and sell the boats.
That we paid, what, $6 million for?
Exactly. $7 million.
$7 million.
$7 million. But if we set up, if we organize, we lead by example, we can provide the tents. If we need 50 tents, because it needs to be structured. We want people to go and do business. You want to go set up a barbecue sale. You want to go and sell your knickknacks.
It's kind of like what Mahogany Bay and Banyan Bay was doing, right? And the truck stop.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But we need to make it more local, more central, so that it becomes a center where you can actually go with your family for the day. And say, you know, let's go Saturday, it's market day. You're able to go and sell your vegetables, your produce that you may have. You have somebody who might want to go and sell, let's say my friends Tenderbuff coming in to sell their meats. They're able to rent a place out, but it's going to be very structured. It needs to be sanitary. We cannot have people there just having their place over place. There are lots of trash bins. We will encourage also that when you go shopping, you take your own bags, because at that place there will be no plastic bags there. It will not be allowed.
Great.
Right. This is, we have to make it. We have to lead, my friends, and I think this is something I know that this project can work and give everybody the opportunity to make some business. And we do it in a clean, healthy way, and we welcome everyone. It is going to be a fee. Obviously, this is something that the town council will have to take over. That is something that the council can work with, because it is something communal. And hopefully that is something that we can do also in Kikakar as well. Although Kikakar is a smaller level, but we can do it as something of a pilot project here in San Pedro, and it is very successful. Why not do it in Kikakar as well?
Yeah,
but I think that is something very beautiful. Certain people might have certain things at home. I want to do some kind of sale, and you go there and you rent a tent. And we're going to have the bathroom facilities as well. We're going to have to make sure that it becomes a model for everyone to go there, and Saturday becomes a go-to day for everybody in San Pedro.
Saturday be market day.
Right. So everybody's walking. You come across, hey Dan, what's going? How is it going? A little chit chat, and then we carry on. And of course, plenty of food there, plenty of drinks. Drinks, I'm talking about healthy drinks, so that by the end of midday, everybody's packing up. The council rolls in, cleans up everything. The tents are put up and everything, like if nothing happened. But it became a beautiful Saturday day. It's about planning. It's about vision. It's about being a place that enhances a community. And when the time the tourists are coming in, they too will want to look for a Saturday morning market day to go and meet how the people of the island interact. And that is my favorite there. That is why we left it at number 10.
Because I think that piece of property is really underutilized.
Of course. Now, some people might say, and actually it came up, somebody said, but Mr. Andre, they do sports there. Well, we got to find other places also.
Well, we got a nice stadium to do sports in now.
Yes, we do. But on Saturday morning, we can do that place there really nice and properly arranged. I think it's going to be something phenomenal, and it's attainable.
Yes, it is.
That's the most important thing, that it is real. It can happen. It's not something that is in the pie in the sky. It is something that we can do, and I think that I commit to doing that in the first 100 days.
And who doesn't like markets? I mean,
That's
the
it.
tourists will love it.
Yeah.
The locals will love it. It's a win-win, and the people that are selling are going to love it too. It's a win-win for everybody.
And I can share from experience and everything. I remember in 2010 when I had to relocate temporarily to start business in Bomofan, and I must admit that that was my highlight when I was living there temporarily when I went to set up shop in Belmopan, was going to the market day on Fridays and Tuesdays. And we love going early in the morning, Friday morning, at 6 in the morning with a coffee in my hands and looking at the fresh produce. And there were people selling clothes, electronics, just one day. And you enjoy it very much. And I think that is, I always said, we can do it here in San Pedro. So that is an aim. And I think that is something good, Dan. And that is something that is going to bring out the best out of us to make things better for San Pedro, to make highlights of this place here. And it is so easy to make that. I don't think this is anything difficult. So with that said, that's our 10-point system.
Yeah, so let me just quickly recap them for everybody. I'll just go over them.
Actually,
so
we'll be posting up. That will be, as I
You're going to put it on your webpage, right?
The PUP Belize Rural South page will be posting it both in Spanish and English, just to make it clear.
Right.
It is already translated in Spanish. So es que va a estar para aquellos que solo están escuchando en inglés. También tenemos una copia en nuestra página de social media en Facebook. Lo vamos a tener también en inglés y en español. Y este va a ser más o menos el core de la campaña que yo voy a estar haciendo, yendo a lo más posible que pueda llegar a su casa, que voy a hacer lo más entre las 6 semanas, que va a ser el core de la campaña. Pero no nos olvidamos también de lo que es nuestro complete, what is our complete manifesto. This is something that will be going out there. But as I said, it was planned out for the entire, the 5 years, of being elected, and we did this at the end of December, and we were getting ready. All things with COVID just got thrown through away, but we were really planning to do a grand presentation of our manifesto, our plan of action for the next 5 years. But because of COVID-19, we were unable to do so. But the plans here, our goals are very much in place.
Are there,
They're
right?
still there. We hospitals. We all have this in place to build. We do not forget about this. But of course, that we have to do is to insert this for the next 100 days. That is so important because of COVID-19, Dan. So with that said, I want to close out to thank everyone there.
Oh, do you want to
questions?
I'm just going to recap this real quick, and
For
then
sure.
you can you recap it in Spanish for everybody?
Of course.
And we'll just go through it real quick. So the first point is to expand the food pantry program for San Pedro and Kikaker.
Yes.
Very important. People got to eat. That's a no-brainer. Should have been done already. Implement a government initiative to assist business with immediate cash flow. Yes, small businesses and tour shops and restaurants and that need help. At the cabinet level, negotiate the Central Bank of Belize and commercial banks to offering loan payments. Very important too. BTB office, we need that.
Right.
Got to be here. On-site property management is 10 times better than off-site. Number 5, hospital.
That's right. We need a
Very super important. We all know that. We all know it's time.
Right.
You can't put it off anymore.
No.
Can't put it off anymore. It just
None
can't.
at all.
It's got to be done.
We got to
It's got to be done. It's not It's not an option anymore.
Exactly.
Okay.
The mobile clinics as well.
The mobile clinics as well. That's very important too. So that people that can't necessarily afford to take a cab and with 4 kids and wait all day, we come to them, take health to the streets.
Of course. Right.
Excellent idea. And not that expensive. It's not that expensive.
Nope.
It's something that's very doable. It's nothing that's out of range. Increased testing for COVID, obviously. Yep, that's that again. Subsidized tuition fees for secondary. That's a great plan.
Yes.
That's a great
and
plan.
That, of all the 10 here that you're talking about, Dan, this is the biggest challenging one, but I'm aware of it because of the priority of education. We will have to seek funds for that one. Of course, of the 10, this is perhaps the biggest challenging one, but it is attainable. And I want to make sure that because the key to this is finance. We got to find that out, right? Okay.
Expand.
So continue.
Then we've got expanding the Wi-Fi.
Yes.
In public spaces, which is great. I mean, I know some of the schools Digi already provides
Yes.
free Wi-Fi to most of the students, right? But you want to expand that a little more, and hopefully they won't be playing games but doing their
Especially in the
work,
schools
right?
where teachers are doing their courses and everything, they need to amplify, you know?
Yeah, and it has to be in a structured environment so the kids aren't off, playing Super Mario. Oh, there's my age. And then, of course, the market that we all love.
That's right.
That's going to be a great one.
And
I think everyone will get excited about that one. I think that's a great idea.
All right.
Just even from a mental point of view, everybody let's go and have a nice day together.
Yes.
Social distancing, masks, the whole deal.
Of course.
But let's do that when the time is right, when we're ready for it, when the COVID's been sort of under control.
And that is why. But then, whenever we set up this market, there will be rules and regulations about what we want to do there. These people who do their business there have to follow rules and regulations. And knowing that whenever you go there, I like the idea of you make sure to take your handbags because nobody's in there allowed to have bags.
Plastic.
You are going to get your own. You get your your products, but you're taking your bags. So we have to do it by example as well, right? So I think that is something that is very, I like this idea very much. It's my pet project. But we can do it. I don't want to sound that kind of conceited, but I love this, right?
It's not
right?
hard to do. It's already been done 3 times. We already know. We've seen it here already on the island. So
no, all of this right now. Also, if I can put it all together, Dan, there is something very important that our party leader discussed yesterday, and I believe that I have been mentioning quite some time, because it's how we're going to pay for all of this. How are we going to deal with all these massive debts that we have incurred as a country? The inability of this government to restructure the super bonds that when they had the opportunity to do so, they did not do so. At this point in time, Dan, did you know that because of the COVID-19, there are much more loopholes and benefits that nations who are suffering are able to access to the international lending institutions that can qualify, because we are suffering, especially those that the biggest, in particular the countries that are affected most by way of tourism. Many countries, tourism is the bulk of what fires or fuels their economy, and we are one of those. We have access to these international institutions to give us waivers, to give us additional funding, but sadly at this point in time, this present government has missed the boat on that. But it's not too late. We can still do it. And that is what the party leader made stress yesterday when I was listening when he was talking, is about restructuring the debt. And that is something that I have always mentioned, is about whenever you are in a business and you're failing, but you are, because of external forces affecting your business, you are able to make a plan to go to the bank and say, listen, my business is failing not because I failed or because my business failed. I am failing because of external forces. And given the opportunity that I can move forward, I have a plan on how to do things. That is how a businessman would be doing the right thing, is to make a plan how to restructure. I am unable to pay my loans, and I'm here, I'm sitting to make a negotiation. Please, if it's 10 years that my loan is due, can you please kindly extend it to 15 years? Although it's going to be difficult, understanding that your debt portfolio is extending for more years, it is necessary. You are able to negotiate as well lower interest rates. You are able to negotiate lower loan payments. You are able to even negotiate for additional finance into your business. If we do this in a structured manner, then, if we do this in an organized fashion, and genuinely showing to the lending institution that whenever you give us that additional funding, I am not going to take that money and run away to the bars or travel to the States for me to spend the money. I said, oh, don't worry, when I come back, I'm going to deal with the problems. You know, and I know, that when we get that funding, it is not for our cronies. It is not for wanton spending for everything. It is about using the funds, priority, education, health, agriculture, tourism. These 4 are forming that line that whenever we form that new government, there is hope. There is hope, Dan. And for our people here, do not give up. We are in dark days right now. I know that right now we're just living in survival mode. That's what we're doing right now, Dan. We are all on survival mode. But I want to highlight is the hope that we all have, that there are better times ahead. And I'm hoping that you give me that vote of confidence, and that I promise you on my side that I will lead you to a place where we can organize, we can structure ourselves. If you give me that permission to sit down at the negotiating table, to restructure everything there, I am ready to do my part. I have told my party leader, we're telling us that the next Prime Minister, and he has said it publicly right now. I was very much a bit humbled. I did not expect my party leader to speak in that way, to really big me up and talking about a rising star. It was a lot. I really felt humbled, but I think he came out clear on how well he knows me, how many years we've worked together. The first time he became the candidate for the People's United Party as a standard bearer was way back in 1992, I believe, and I was working along with him. We have a long friendship, so I believe that when he spoke, he was giving me that value, that he knows that Andre means something, he brings something to the table, and that is what I want to assure you all.
Okay.
That as your candidate, I am bringing something to the table, not just an empty-handed candidate who is just talking for talking, but I believe my track record as well has said a lot in terms of my business, in being prudent, working at all time in a way that is fiscally safe that I will never expose anyone to a big investment that is not going to give us returns. It is always good. Risk is important. Andre, myself, I can call myself a risk taker, but I am a calculative risk taker. So that investments, we must take risks, but we must make plans. We must study it. We must do our field work. And I commit myself to that, my friends. And with that said, Dan,
I got a couple of questions from on the Facebook feed here. Amir Magnana wants to know, what do you have planned for access to Northside Keycocker? How are you going to get access to North Keycocker?
Well, you know that Northside Keycocker is developing as fast as north of San Pedro. I think in fact I know that the split is also a private property, so that if we have plans to build a bridge across, there will be some kind of polemics in there. Sadly, that land is privately owned. But at this point in time, what we are seeing right now, Dan, is there's a little barge that takes over golf carts to there. But development must come by way of extending electricity, water. But more importantly, even before we talk about the north, Dan, we have to talk about Keycocker getting a sewer system. That is also very urgent. A sewer system is much needed in Keycocker as well. So I'm not sure if I'm answering that person, but certainly the way that tongue is growing is we have to pursue that $60 million allocated for the grid, the submarine cable to be connected from the south of Ambergeiski to Keycocker. But I want to tell that person as well that we have to be realistic. We know for now that the submarine cable that is coming from Mascal, from Bomba to Ambergeiski is enough to feed Ambergeiski. But if we extend that line from the south of Ambergeiski to the north of Keycocker to run the electricity, it is not strong enough. So there's another investment that needs to be done to boost that submarine cable from the mainland to the south of the island. But then again, then if we put our heads together, we can look for other alternate sources to power electricity for Keycocker. That is something. So I'm not too sure if I'm answering the question for the lady there.
I think that's good. Another question here. I know these are sort of unrelated, but
yes. No. It's all good. It's all good.
One of our regular viewers, Stephen Morales, wants to know what you plan on doing about the traffic congestion.
Yes, that is something that we want to do along with the town council, and it also has to do with the paving of roads, opening more streets, especially in San Pedrito area as well. And we continue to clamor for that, maybe a marine terminal to get more arranged to relocate the taxis and everything to another place that is more that can divert much of the traffic. But yes, controls. I think, Stephen, you need to understand that we have to have controls. I think moratoriums on importation of golf carts, these golf cart rentals, is way too much. And I think that has to be controlled as well. I know we need to have that control as well. Big vehicles as well, big vehicles is something that is not helping as well. So that is something that we'll be working along with the town council to put a stop to it. We do not stop it completely, but it has to be monitored clearly, that we give us time to open more streets and to relocate different places where, especially the marine terminal, where we can do it, is something that needs to be changed as well, because the marine terminal has to be created then, and it cannot be there by the park as well. We have to find solutions to that as well.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people are loving the market day idea.
Really?
Yeah. Irene Figueroa, I love this idea. Finally, we could have a market day.
Of course.
So yeah, people. It's amazing what people love. They love the market idea. Did you want to take phone calls, or did
yes.
you? Yes.
It's
a holiday, right?
Line.
What the heck?
Yes, for another 10, 15
I'm going to
minutes.
we got a different line.
Okay.
It's
anybody wants to make a call?
Anybody wants to make a call? I'll open the lines now. It's 226-4100. I'll put it up on the screen in a second.
Okay, so the lines are 226.
That's our fact. 4100, not the regular.
Okay.
We're having trouble with our 4054 line.
Okay.
So don't call that. You'll just get a busy signal. Call us at our fax line, 226-4100, and I'll answer the phone right away. So anybody wants to call in, the line is open. But yeah, a lot of people are just loving the market day idea. Even a couple of people are. Vanessa Smith, you can come and raise a blue and a white flag at my house, please. There you go.
That's good.
There you go. All right, Vanessa, your flag's on the way.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me speak about the flags.
Yes.
We are already campaigning, organizing ourselves. And okay, we have a call.
We do have a call. Let's
Hello.
get our call on the air here. Let me see if we can get him up here. Let me see.
Hello.
Oh, I can barely hear him. Good morning, caller.
Hello, yes, good morning, Dan. Good morning, morning, Mr. Andre Perez. This is Mr. Abner Macab calling from San Mateo.
Abner, buenos dias.
Buenos dias, Mr. Andre. I'm just
Tell me.
calling to, extend my services to you, to your party. I've always tried to reach out to everybody here in San Pedro, to assist and help in any way that I could in regards to my services, my training, my professional career, everything that has to deal with me. I would be more than happy to help with the community once we can work together. I have reached out many times to many people here. Once we can work together, it's not about me, it's not about you, but it's about the people that can benefit our community, our brothers. So I would like to say thank you and extend my services at any time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Abner. Dan, can I say something about Abner right now?
Sure.
We've met several times. We have had a very good discussions in my office, and I think you have had him in the show. He's a very talented person. He's very much qualified in terms of training first responder. These things. He has his equipment. He has invested extensively in his equipment to do his training, and certainly he's a person qualified to provide training. And this is something that we, as a government, we must embrace, that he qualifies, and that we have to let him play an active role in training our people involved in the tourism industry. And certainly, Abner, I am aware of your talent, your strengths, and certainly your commitment, and then as a Belizean, and that he contributes as well, and that we as a responsible government do our part as well to embrace people like him, that it's symbiotic.
And not only people, like there's a ton of retired expats on this island that have tons of experience that can mentor people.
Of course. So I think that is something that Abner brings, and I recognize that as well. And Dan, so Abner, thank you very much for that call, that they're coming in right there. So we were talking that somebody wants a flag right there. So I tell you what's going on with the flags. So for now we're down to 6 weeks, and long gone are the days about flooding the island with all the banners and the flags and everything now. So what we're doing now is we have our flags ready. We're limiting it to whereby someone wants it at home, and already showing that there are many homes already who are putting up their flags.
Yes.
It brings me back the memory when I came to live here in 1997, how the flags were all over the place in homes. So now we are seeing our people putting up back their flags. That gives us hope. That gives us now that feeling that there are people who really are no longer, they're happy to be manifesting that belonging to the People's, a member of the People's United Party is something with pride, that we are a good party. We are way back from 1949, from the days of George Price, and that we do not lose what is the core philosophy, what is really serving our people. It is really about providing the service to our people, and that is what I love about my party. Sometimes when I'm despondent, you can always, maybe we should even post that constitution, the People's United Party Constitution. It's very beautiful, Dan.
Okay.
It is online, actually. You can actually access it online. And whenever you read that, you can easily say, I identify with these core values that our constitution says. And it goes back to that. So that person with the flag, for sure, I am sure that my committee is watching. I'm sure my committee is already gathering that. And I believe me, by tomorrow the flag will be at your house already, right? We're getting ready money for that. I think money will be informed from today. Get that flag ready to take that. So that's good, Dan.
Yeah, it's good when people are supportive of your ideas. And
yeah, so if there's any more questions there on Facebook, please let me have it.
A lot of people just pledging their support and offering their assistance.
We have some of the trolls already out there, right?
Somebody, sorry?
Some of the trolls coming out there already?
No, but actually, no. It's all actually pretty positive.
Yes, of course.
I love the boardwalk too. It's too bad it's being used by taxi parking because we can have people traffic and bring business. The market day will be great. Everyone has market day in the country. Clothes, veggies, Smart, and Digi can use the area to make,
Yes, of course.
there's and it's not just limited to people selling crafts. It's other businesses can go there too.
Of course. Right.
Now the cell phone people are always there, but
well, you cannot leave them out because
they're an important part of the.
Let's remember something. We go there because we as humans we love deals. We like to strike deals. I came out of the market day and I got this for this, and you go back home because you enjoy that you got a deal. So that's fair game. It's all fair game, Dan.
Yeah, no, I'm not criticizing the cell phone people, but I'm just saying they tend to be in your face a lot. So anyway, we all know that.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. I mean, it's great to see the new stuff. Everybody wants to see the new iPhones and the new products on display, of course.
Yeah. So we're getting ready for that. Back again to what we were talking about, the flags there, Dan. We are organizing a way that now that whatever the finances, as I was saying the other day, is that we were more focusing on assisting as much as possible our people right now. Because it's never enough right now, Dan. Right now, the days that we're living in, especially the month of August, was really brutal. It was grueling. The amount of people there and you walk that they have nothing to eat, it is real. And I shared it with my party leader. I told him how serious things are here and in Kikaker as well. So tomorrow I will be in Kikaker. I'm so excited to be in Kikaker. It's been more than a month I've been there, not because I didn't want to, because I couldn't, because of the pandemic. So I'm really excited to go there to visit tomorrow. Kikaker.
Kikaker is a nice. You know what? I love Kikaker. It's a nice little island just to get off San Pedro every once in a while. Go over there, have a little lunch, go to a little different scenery.
Yes.
So yeah, I love going to Kikaker. And Kikaker, I'm sure people from Kikaker probably feel the same way about San Pedro, like to come over to San Pedro, and I know they have to do things here.
Yes.
But you're right. Kikaker is sort of like a link to us in a very special way. It's not just another island. It's not just a neighboring island like Providencia or something like that in Colombia. We're like partners.
Yes.
We work together. We sort of join together when we're in crisis, and everybody helps everybody out. And
and when it comes to that, also I was talking to a good friend of mine who is a counselor in Kikaker, and he's a sports lover, and it would be something very beautiful that there's an interchange between the two islands on a Sunday, that we arrange transportation here from our boats to go there for sports, football, beach volleyball, or something. This Sunday we go to Kikaker. There's going to be the competition there, several different games, everything, a marathon, because they have a football field there as well. They have good beaches to do beach volleyball. So there's this competition that can go there, and then there's the days when Kikaker crowd can come here. We do it on the Sundays. It just keeps us busy. It just get that economy going.
And I know there's tons of people that would volunteer to help out on doing something like that.
Beach volleyball thing. I think the other day, it was last year, I believe, somebody down south made a beach volleyball tournament, and teams from Belize City came, and there was like 2 games at the same time, and I really enjoyed it. I had some friends came in from Belize City. Back then, my daughter was in junior college, so the teams came in, and many people from San Pedro going. It was a bit far, but I saw the action going on there and the excitement in the games. I said, why can't we do this here?
Last year, I was in Chetumal, and they had a huge volleyball tournament going there. Stand set up, bleachers, the whole deal. I didn't even know it was going on until we got there. We had gone over there to go shopping, and I went, hey, this is really cool. And it was along the boardwalk at the front. It was all temporary, but there were tons of people there, and we were wondering why it was so hard to get a hotel that weekend. It's because the volleyball tournament. So something like that here to bring people in. I mean, we used to have the Jerry Jeff Walker camp come in, and that used to bring in Costa Maya that used to bring. So we need something like that on a regular basis. Bringing these things in, like Costa Maya, like these things that promote and bring the island back.
That one that Elito does as well is another one that he does is the Ruta Maya. The one that goes all around there. I think it's called Ruta when he goes around. That is something, it all ties into something you call sports tourism. And it has to be a responsible government that leads these things, because we believe we have the infrastructure. We have all the hotels you can think about. And at the regional level, if you're talking about Chetumal, the teams to come in from Chetumal to come across, and that's something we need to work, is to facilitate, to ease that border crossing, that Mexicans do not have trouble coming in here. So we need to sort that out, because people from Chetumal are still having problems coming over to Belize. And I know that there's a strong market there for them, especially coming to San Pedro from Chetumal. It's something that we need to sort out and fine-tune.
Because Chetumal's a city. Chetumal's a city, and we're a vacation island.
Absolutely.
And that's a huge market there that we're missing.
That's a city of almost, I believe, over 500,000 people living in the city of Chetumal. And we have very close ties with them. And it's just a matter of striking up with them business that they are able to come to San Pedro. Let's be, I don't want to sound too selfish right now. I say, what about the rest of the country? But we are directly close, and there's boat transportation.
Boat traffic direct from Kikaker and San Pedro.
Or 45 minutes. So why can't we allow the Mexicans to come here? They're going to come spend money. They're not going to come here just so free. They're going to come here to spend money. So that's another market that can be tied to sport tourism. So if we create a good working committee, we set up ourselves to start to get this. There's many different ways to do it. So one thing I want to close up with, Dan, because we're already 10:15.
And it's a holiday today.
Yes.
Happy St. George's
Yes.
Key Day,
Yes,
everybody.
Yes, but then, but one of the things I want to close up is that, my friends, is hope. We must never lose our hope. And secondly is that I offer myself, and I'm telling you all that rest assured that I will work tirelessly to step up to the plate, to fix things, to mend things, to be friends with every single person. While we may be bitterly divided at this point in time because of politics, red or blue, we're heading to elections, and everybody in between the red and the blue now, because so many other people, green, yellow, polka dots, psychedelic colors coming up now. I am saying it as a joke, but when the elections come by, all right, when the elections come by and that it's all over, I commit myself to work to the voting populace of over 9,000 people now, because we're getting almost to 9,000 people with the amount of people you registered. But understanding that there is a populace of 25,000 people living here between Kikak and San Pedro, I commit myself to work and to remain focused, to place myself as your leader, to work and be a good listener to every single person. That is my commitment to everyone, Dan. Que me comprometo, aparte de la promesa que he hecho aquí de los 100 días que tenemos que hacer, son planes como siempre, que soy un comerciante yo. Me gusta planificar. No despierto una mañana y que con una inspiración y hoy voy a hacer esto. Siempre es bueno planificar adelante. Esa es la experiencia que he tenido y lo mismo pienso hacer y voy a hacer cuando sea elegido como su representante y para representarlos responsablemente en Belnopan. Y también para hablar con ustedes, a favor de ustedes en el Parlamento. Cuando esté sentado ahí, yo me voy a parar y defenderlos y pedir y pelear, luchar para lo que tiene que ser para San Pedro y Kikak, que hemos sido abandonados por los últimos 18 años. Entonces, con eso quiero hacer el cierre. Quiero darles las muchas gracias. Entre breves, creo que, o si no, ya está en nuestra página de Belize Rural South PUP. Va a estar las copias de inglés y español de nuestro plan de 100 días. Y aparte de eso, nuestro manifiesto entre poco va a estar saliendo distribuyendo a las 2 islas, que también son planes de los otros 5 años que se puede hacer también. So with that done, I say that we close off, and I want to thank everyone that we, and God willing, everything we set for next week Thursday, and my campaign continues. My office is now open. I am receiving people, of course, with very limits. We have to have that social distancing. Some adjustments have been made at our offices, but this is not to be playing important or anything, because we are actually putting up some doors there. But it is not for importance, or Andre is already putting himself like somebody else. No, I am not. We are simply doing it because of health reasons. We must protect one another. I must protect myself, and I want you to protect yourself and keep that social distance. Keep your mask at all times. Wash your hands at all times. No shaking of hands, because I still come across people who want to shake my hand. It's hard, Dan. It's very hard.
Yes, it is. It's because it's a custom. It's instilled in us. And it's the first thing. I know. I've done that too. Just automatically.
Right? It's very hard. People come and want to shake your hands, and even myself sometimes I want to. Sometimes you meet us, a brother or a sister you want to, but it's the elbow or hello.
Or the fist bump. I'm doing the fist bump with everybody. I'm doing the brother.
Yes. So we keep in contact. And we will continue doing that campaign again. So with that said, Dan, thank you very much for following us, Reef TV. Muchas gracias, and happy 10th of September.
Yeah, happy St. George's Key every day, everybody.